What is up, everyone? DPX here. I just got back from watching Man The Wasp Quantumania. What do I think? Well, let's get into it. But before we get started, you know what to do. Be sure to subscribe, hit the bell, leave a comment, or I will turn you ant-sized and I will stomp on you. I'll squash you. So subscribe. So, Ant-Man. I really like the Ant-Man movies. They're definitely not the best movies in the MCU, but that's kind of their charm, really. They're not trying to be these crazy, big, you know, high-stakes movies in the MCU. They're just trying to be the palate cleanser. This movie's a little different. This one, you know, you're introducing your new big bad, Kang the Conqueror, you know, in this movie. And right off the bat, I'm just gonna get into this. Right off the bat, Kang the Conqueror, I don't know if he surpasses Thanos. I've seen a lot of the reviews say he surpasses Thanos. I wouldn't say that yet, but I'd say he's up there. Because Jonathan Majors as Kang is really, really good. And you get a lot of backstory for Kang, and I think it all works. Whenever Kang showed up, whenever it was Kang, it was about Kang, the movie was really great. And I do have a lot of issues with this movie, but the issues I have kind of disappeared when Kang showed up, you know what I mean? Like the humor. And I feel like this is where, this movie is where the humor gets a little annoying the most. You see, the thing about Ant-Man is, you know, you have a guy who's just a normal guy who just ends up becoming a superhero, you know? He's an unlikely hero. That kind of gets lost in this, high-stakes movie, but when you look past that, you know, he still needs to be quippy, he still needs to be making jokes, which is all cool, but you have a very serious movie here. So, I don't think this isn't as bad as, you know, Thor Love and Thunder with the jokes, but the balance between the humor and the seriousness it is very prevalent, you know, it is very apparent. But into some other praises, when we get into the quantum realm, it's actually visually fantastic. Marvel's been criticized for their CGI a lot, but the CGI on the quantum realm was really good. Most of the movie takes place in the quantum realm, so you can tell that they made sure that it would look good, and it does. It looks really great. It looks like an actual place that you can be at. It's believable. I like the other characters, you know, Scott Lang, you know, Paul Rudd as Scott Lang, Ant-Man, great as always, basically plays himself. Is in a bit more of a serious movie this time, and, you know, he's a little bit quippy, you know, but I don't think it's that bad. Also, Catherine Newton as Cassie Lang is also really good. She was a recast, and she got some shit for it, which I don't think is fair, but she's really good. She actually is in the movie a lot more than even Hope is. And that's kind of an issue. I feel like we get a lot of Scott, we get a lot of Cassie, we get a lot of Janet, but we don't get much of Hank, and we don't get much of Hope. And no, this movie is called Ant-Man and the Wasp, and the Wasp, I mean, she's important to the plot and everything, but she doesn't do a whole lot, you know? Speaking of not doing a lot, MODOK. It's not a spoiler to say that MODOK was here. I'm not even gonna, entertain that idea that it was a spoiler, because, yeah, MODOK was in the trailer. I remember at Comic-Con they made a big deal about MODOK being in the movie, and I was very interested to see how they'd make MODOK work in an MCU movie, especially a very, dark and serious one like this. The answer is, they don't make it work. MODOK, not only does he not work in this movie, he didn't need to be there. When he appears, it's like a joke when he appears, you know? And when everyone's like, oh, it's you, it's a joke, you know? And there's moments where it's supposed to be really serious. Like, there should never be a scene where Kang and MODOK share the scene, but they do multiple times, and it does not work. I always wondered, like, would they ever put MODOK in an MCU movie, and if they were to, how would they make him work? Now, after seeing that, I feel like you should have never put MODOK in an MCU movie. There's also a question that comes up with the fact that this movie takes place in the quantum realm, and I'm going to try my best not to spoil anything, but basically, you know, remember how in Avengers Endgame, where it was established that Ant-Man, when he was stuck in the quantum realm, for him was like 5 minutes? It was either 5 minutes or 5 hours, but everyone else, you know, was 5 years. That's kind of, I feel like that's a post-Endgame problem that I've been noticing with the MCU. They've kind of been ignoring a lot of stuff that happened in Endgame. Like, this isn't the biggest thing, but they've been ignoring a lot of stuff that happened in Endgame, or treating it like it was nothing, you know? And they do that just for the convenience to tell their own story, you know? This movie, it's not as egregious. I'm making a bit bigger of a deal out of it, really, than it really is. Because a lot of the MCU movies, they, like, after Endgame, they kind of act like, you know, oh, the blip was nothing, you know? It was just Infinity Cones and Thor Love and Thunder, you know? But this movie, actually, I do like how it kind of treats the blip like it mattered, you know? Because Scott, he lost time, you know? He didn't get to see Cassie grow up, and I like that part. But also, we don't really go anywhere with that, you know? I mean, yeah, we see their relationship kind of develop and everything, which is nice, but, like, Scott could have had a very good arc in this movie, and it wasn't completely there. I'm making it sound like I don't like this movie that much. I liked it more than I didn't, you know. I did say this when Thor Love and Thunder came out, but then thinking about it again, and that movie was not good. But I really don't think Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is really as bad as some people tell you. Or maybe all those people are looking at my video and they're telling you it's not as good as I'm telling you. You know, either way you want to put it, what I personally think, it's not that bad. You know, it should not be the second lowest reviewed MCU movie of all time. I'd say it's a good start to Phase 5 in terms of, like, the stakes of the MCU and what all this means, and, you know, introducing Kang. That's what this movie did the best. Kang. And he's supposed to be our villain moving forward. He's going to be our Thanos. And just by having him in this movie, it makes it a good, you know, way to progress this saga, the multiverse saga. And overall, I think it is a very enjoyable movie. I think if you go to the movies to watch this movie, you'll have some fun, you know. You'll have fun watching this movie. So I'd say if you want to watch it, go ahead. But anyways, Ant-Man the Wasp Quantumania has a lot of frustrating things that I'm sure will actually frustrate a lot of you and might actually turn it off for a lot of you. But I enjoyed it. It's not... It loses the charm of Ant-Man, but I'd say it is a good start for Phase 5, if that makes sense, you know? It's not the greatest movie ever, it's not that crazy good, but it is a good start for Phase 5. Does that make sense? That being said, I'm going to give Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania a 7.5 out of 10. Maybe my opinion will change, but I enjoyed the movie. I can't give it that low of a score. I enjoyed it, but man, it has some issues. Anyways, what do you guys think? Do you guys like the movie? Have you seen the movie? Have you not seen the movie? And if you haven't seen the movie, do you want to see it? Do you not want to see it? Let me know down below anything about the movie. Anyways, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, or I will shrink you to ant size and stomp on you. Bye!